Good morning, everyone. In next 2 minutes, we are going to start the webinar.
Uh, Hi, I'm not able to hear you well. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible to me.
Well, I think there's some. Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I think there's some setting issue because I always connect it to the boardroom system. No, that's why.
It's okay, sir.
Right. So we still have another 2 minutes. No.
Yes, sir. We will wait for 2 minutes and then we will start for the webinar.
Sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hi, Roshan.
Hello, sir.
So how many participants would be there?
Right now, we have 10 to 9 people. Okay, we will wait for 2 minutes
Okay.
for other participants.
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, students. Welcome to the webinar. And today's topic is the art of storytelling. I'm absolutely delightful to see all of you here, ready to embark on the learning journey together. So, hi, my name is Pranali. I'm working in a GTT as a mentor. I'm passionately helping and guiding a student over a year now. And my colleague Roshan is with me. He is also a mentor. He is going to help me in this webinar. So, we are going to start the webinar. But before that, I would like to thank you all of you. Your presence and active participation will make this webinar truly special. And it's my pleasure to introduce our extreme guest speaker, Sony sir. Thank you so much, sir, and I welcome you in this webinar. I think, sir, we should start the webinar. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Pranali. Thank you, Roshan. I hope I'm audible to all of you. And thanks for joining in for this session. I think it's delighted to be a part of this. This is my second session for the participants from Barclays engagement programs that we have. I have a request. If it is advisable, those of you who can come on camera, it'll be great if you can come on camera so I know exactly who I am talking to. I know there are around 10 to 12 participants who have logged in. Whoever can come on camera wherever you are, that'll be great. I'll just give you maybe 30 seconds. It's always good to see you on camera while we have these sessions. That's one. I request all of you, whoever can come on camera, please turn on your camera. That's one. And secondly, we don't want this session to be just I speaking all the time. In case you would like, because the topic today, I'm sure, is very exciting to you as well, and something that we do day in and day out. So you would like to say something, narrate something, you are most welcome to interrupt at any given point in time. So we would also make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. In case you find difficult to say something, you would like to put it on the chat box. We have Pranali and Roshan helping us out in terms of narrating those incidents or your questions on the forum. We will be more than happy to take it up. Is that clear? Let's not make this session a boring session, because it's up to all of us to make it as enriching and as eventful as it could be. Should we start? You can put it on the chat box. At least say yes or no, or you can raise your hands. That'll give us an indication to us. Are you all excited? Yes. Hey, Shibram. I'm sure you would have received a detailed email from the mentoring team from GTT explaining about or inviting you for this topic, or for this webinar with the topics explained. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is what is the topic? Can anyone tell us? I'm sure you would have gone through your invite, right? What's the topic? You can put it on the chat box, or you can just unmute and speak. They're allowed to speak, right, Shivani? Sorry, Pranali. Yes, they are, bro.
Yes, sir, I'm giving them access.
Yeah. Please give them access for video and even for them to speak.
Okay,
I'm
sir. Okay.
completely fine with that. They can interrupt me at any point in time. So,
Okay, sir.
those of you who would like to just unmute and say something, please feel free. Do not get restricted by anything. Okay. And also, please help me understand, are you comfortable with English or do you want me to switch to any other language? Please specify that as well. So I'll be comfortable in Hindi, Marathi, or any other language that you would like me to speak in. Okay. The art of storytelling. So that's the topic that we're going to discuss today. And as it is something very, very, common to all of us, so let's make that topic as interesting as possible by making this session an interactive session. So just help me understand, when you have read this topic, when that mail came to you, I'm sure you first read it, The Art of Storytelling. What are the initial thought that came to your mind? You can just unmute and speak or put it on the chat box. What came to your mind when you heard the topic, The Art of Storytelling, or when you said storytelling? What came to your mind? Uh, Pranali, you will have to help me out if anyone has put it on the chat box, or please unmute and say. आप किसी language में बात कर सकते हो. I am fluent with any of your languages, I'm sure. Is there anyone from the south as well in this team, or is it only from Maharashtra? We have only participants from Maharashtra or from other states as well?
From Maharashtra. Yes, sir, from Maharashtra only.
All are from Maharashtra. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think they will definitely understand both Hindi, Marathi, English.
Okay, sir. Actually, sir, Swapnil Sadhav have one question, that how to put our point across.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay,
and
we will.
Shivram. Mhm.
Yeah, how to tell a story to anyone. Okay, so we will definitely be addressing this. But my basic question was, when you read this topic, what came to your mind? Storytelling. What came to your mind? You can just unmute and say. I know it'll be difficult for you to type it there. You can just say. आप हिंदी में बात करो, मराठी मध्ये तुम्ही बोलू शकता. जे काही तुमचे भावना आहेत, तुम्ही फक्त एक्सप्रेस करा की तुम्हाला जेव्हा ते टॉपिक कळालं की आर्ट ऑफ स्टोरी टेलिंग, आपके मन में क्या थॉट्स आए. अगर आप साइलेंट रहोगे तो ये सेशन बहुत बोरिंग हो जाएगा यार. कुछ नहीं आया, राइट? हम सिर्फ इधर आए हैं कि let sir say whatever he wants to say, right? Okay.
Sir, even Shivram Kumar have a question. How
Hmm.
to tell a story to anyone? Piyush also have a question. Storytelling is a social and cultural activity of sharing a stories, sometimes with the improvisation and heretics
Okay,
of the yeah.
got it, yes. Good. I think whatever questions that you have, we will definitely be addressing these questions, when while we will discuss maybe a couple of points around storytelling. I'm sure all of us are born in a culture where storytelling has been, integral part of our upbringing. We may have heard several stories from our grandparents, especially from our parents when we went to school, from our teachers, from our siblings. Everyone has narrated some story or the other, and that is something is very, very powerful. And even when we go down in the history lane, the powerful speakers or powerful communicators have been great storytellers. I'm sure you would agree with me. Look at any of the religious leader for that matter. He or she has been able to communicate a message very powerfully and effectively in the form of storytelling. Because storytelling is an art that actually helps to communicate a message to the heart, right? It is an heart to heart discussion, because when you are narrating something in the form of a story, we are able to visualize. We are able to create an picture. I'm sure all of you have go for movies often, right? Or see movies every time. What is that we look for in a movie? The basic storyline of the movie. जब मूवी खत्म होता है बोलता है कि इसका स्टोरी सही नहीं था या इसका स्टोरी बहुत बहुत अच्छा था. So that's what makes a movie interesting. That's what makes, even when you're reading a novel or a book, the storyline of that book is something that will keep you hooked to that book. Am I right? That is an art of that author or the director of a movie or a speaker, maybe a politician or a religious speaker or a leader, who is able to keep the audience hooked from the first word to the last word by weaving a beautiful story around what he or she wants to communicate. So the art of storytelling is extremely important in everybody's life. It is not just the stories that we may have heard from our parents, grandparents, just for the sake of entertainment. Entertainment is one part of it, but also to communicate powerful messages. Storytelling becomes extremely important. Even when we open the newspaper today, okay, the best editors or the journalists are great storytellers. They are able to see an incident and narrate that incident in a way that is able to capture your emotions and keep you hooked into that event, right? It will get you involved into that event, and that is the art of storytelling. Before we move on, I would like to show you a small video, or there's a small presentation. If you allow me to share that. I hope my screen is visible. Just help me understand if my... Okay, you are able to see my screen, right? All of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your screen is
Screen
visible.
is visible. Okay. So I have a very small video. I hope that it's loading. So just help me understand if you're able to.
Do you have the courage to make 8 lakhs a month?
Wait, are you able to hear the voice as well?
Yes, sir.
The really cool part here is
Okay.
just how versatile these templates are. If we have another one.
The eagle, a heraldic bird, the epitome of the majestic, whether in Alaska or the Dolomites. Eagles are simply the
1 minute.
in many sovereigns of the air. Alaska, the most northerly of the United States, is famous for its eagles. And yet that bird became the symbol for the whole of the United States. The bald eagle. Nowhere are there as many of these majestic creatures as on the Chilkat River, right in the south of Alaska. The river is bounded by the Takshanuk Mountains that also feed it regularly through their many glaciers. In the summer, this river acts like a magnet to attract brown bears. They look as if they're waiting for something. The mother bear and her cubs are afraid of the males. But he is after something completely different. A different member of the group is more fortunate. Salmon are the reason why they have all come to the river, whether they are large or small. Waiting for the fish to arrive one after another in the breeding grounds can be a tedious business. The younger generation has found an alternative.
I'm sorry, I think there was some disconnect. 1 minute. Able to see the screen? No, right?
Yes. No, no, sir.
Okay, wait.
Now I can see the screen, sir.
Okay. And hear the voice as well?
No, sir, voice is not there. The video is not audible.
Now?
It can live up
Yes,
to
sir.
70 years.
Okay.
Now,
But to reach this age, however, the eagle
The same video you can see, right?
yes, sir.
must make some tough decisions. In its 40th year, its long, flexible talons can no longer grab prey, which serve as food. Its long, sharp beak begins to bend. Its old, aged, and heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest and make it difficult to fly. Then the eagle is left with only two options: die or go through the painful process of change. The process requires that the eagle fly to a mountaintop and sit on its nest. There, it knocks its beak against a rock until it plucks.
I'm sorry. Okay, you're back. So, were you able to relate to the video that was just being played? You can just put it on the chat box. What did you hear from that video, and what is the key lesson that you are able to take back? You saw the eagle. When it grows, it can live up to 70 years. When it grows at a certain age, it feels itself old. So the beaks, it cannot catch a prey. So what does it do? It goes to a mountain top and tries to goes through a very painful process of cutting off its beak, taking its feathers off, and then it gets a rebirth, and then it can live for another 30 years. So that's the video that was talking about. What did you understand from this video? Maybe one or two quick thoughts that has come to your mind. Any theme that you think this video has shared you with? No? Okay. So I think okay.
Oh,
हमेशा
कोशिश करते
कोशिश
रहेंगे.
करते रहे. Okay, great. So we need to try hard. We have to shed our negative aspects, and we have to try every time to succeed in life. Okay, very good. Thank you, Shivra. Anyone else want to add anything? Okay. So every video, every story, the fundamental aspect of every story is it wants to communicate something to us. It leaves us with a message at the end of it, right? So today, I think some of you had already asked a couple of questions. What is storytelling? How do we narrate stories? So today, these are certain aspects that we will dwell on. And in case in between you may want to ask some questions, please stop me and you can put forward your thoughts. We will dwell on this topic. Why do we need to tell stories? Importance of customized storytelling. And it's important, how does a human brain react or respond to a story when it is being heard or when you narrate a story? And what are the simple methods of telling a story effectively? Now, I think I'm sure if I ask you that question, why do we need to tell stories? So some of you clearly mentioned to communicate a message powerfully, because our audiences, okay, or whoever we are talking to, all of us have a different patterns of receiving knowledge or receiving communication. Some of us, we say we are very visuals. That's why when we see a video or when we see a movie, we are able to grasp the message very fast because we are able to see that, visualize the reality before us. Some of us are, we say, very auditory. You know what is auditory? Someone who is able to listen and is able to grasp. So when you say something, it has to be appealing to the ears, and in the mind, the person should be able to create a visual out of it. Or some of us are very kinesthetic. When we say kinesthetic, people who are able to feel, they need to experience, they need to see it, or they need to do it so as to understand. Each of us, when we analyze ourselves, there should be one way in which we are able to draw messages or learn aspect very fast. Majority of us may be visual. That's why when we see something, we are able to understand, we are able to relate. When we hear something, we are able to relate. Or when we experience something, we are able to relate. The beauty of a story is it is able to touch to all the three aspects of the learning pattern of every individual. When you are able to say a story in a way it has to be said in a powerful way, then the person who is listening to that story is able to either create a picture of what you are trying to narrate. That movie runs in his or her mind, or able to hear those words and able to get into the feelings of what you are trying to say, the way we communicate it, or is able to experience or walk in that journey. And that is the objective of saying, telling a story. We should be able to connect with the audience. We should be able to, take the audience along with us the way we say a story. I'm sure whenever you would have heard a story, you are hooked onto it, or whenever you have watched a movie, you are hooked onto it because the storyline has captured you. You are able to relate yourself with that storyline, and that's what it makes it very, very attractive for us to listen to the story. Okay. Now, when you're trying to create a story or want to narrate a story to someone, we need to be very clear as to why am I telling this story to you? What is the purpose or the objective of saying this story? Storytelling is not just, to kill the time or time pass. It can act in immense way for inculcating values in people. It can help you in your own, in your own interviews, the way you present yourself. You're trying to create a story around yourself, your experience, what you have done in the past. So you are trying to create that story before the interviewer. Or when you are in an active work life, when you need to present a report or when you need to explain about an event that has happened. So you again go back to the aspect of narrating stories. Whenever we hear stories, it is not something that we imagine or we create something just to fake it. Okay, कभी कभी ऐसे भी बोलते हैं आप story मत बोलो. Okay, you tell the realities, but actually stories will help you narrate the realities in a much more effective and powerful way. Have the objective very clear in your mind. आप क्यों ये story बोलना चाहते हो या क्यों आप कुछ narrate करना चाहते हो? What is the purpose behind it? What is that you want to achieve at the end of it? Okay? आपको किसी को motivate करना है या आपके बारे में किसी को बताना है या incident के बारे में आपको बताना है या कुछ values आपको communicate करने हैं? क्या आप क्या करना चाहते हो ये stories के through? जैसे हमने अभी eagle का story देखा. Okay? What is that we wanted to communicate? That we all of us need to accept the realities. We need to go through that hard times so that we can come out anew, come out fresh. Okay, we can have a new life, rebirth. So it's important for us to go through that painful process, and life offers that to all of us. Okay, and so as I said, first have the purpose clear, and the second aspect, when I was explaining, it has to relate to the learning aspect of every human being, the visual aspect, people who are visual. So we should be, when we are narrating it, we should be able to create that, story in a form of a movie in the minds of people who are listening to us. That's why it's important for us to use the right pitch, right tone, the voice modulation that we say. When you say a story in the same tone, people will not be able to hook on to us. Okay, if you are able to variate the voice, even when you heard that video about the eagle, the person who was giving the narration, if you have heard his voice, he was not talking to us in the same flat voice, right? There were variations in the voice that when he was narrating that, because that variations in the voice are able to capture us, capture our emotions very powerfully in the way we are able to narrate the stories. And that experience we need to create when we are narrating the story. So storytelling is a form of effective communication. How effectively, how powerfully are we able to communicate a message to the audience that we are talking to? Am I clear? Any doubts, any questions in your mind right now, you can please put it on the group, and Pranali will help me understand. Yeah, is there any questions?
Yes,
You're on
sir. There
mute.
is a question.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. There is a question from Piyush. Uh, Sir, story can be imaginational also.
absolutely. Yeah. Piyush, thanks. Story can be imaginational. That's why I said, why, what is the purpose of we narrating a story? One understanding is every time we think that story is just an imagination. Okay. That's one aspect of it. But today, the way aspect we are looking at is storytelling has various other aspects as well. The purpose of storytelling is to communicate a message. Okay. It can also be to communicate or convey the reality, the way the journalist to do it. Okay, when you talk to a journalist, they tell you that we are trying to build a powerful story around this. When they are saying that, doesn't mean that they are trying to fake something. They are trying to communicate the reality in a way that is able to create that right type of emotions, right type of connect, and able to bring that message very powerfully in the minds of a reader. So when you're reading a newspaper, if you are not able to connect with the author or connect with the reality, then the purpose of newspaper is lost. Okay, that's why the journalists put it in a way. You look at the language, the way in which they report certain things, certain aspects. In the form, they are very powerful storytellers. Likewise, uh, the political leaders or the visionaries, the great leaders, when they communicate, they use the storytelling format to communicate a message that can go directly into the hearts of people. Clear? Okay. I think it's important how storytelling affects the brain. Okay, this may be a little bit of psychological in nature, but I think it's important for us to understand. Just like the way we said that there are visual learners, there are kinesthetic learners, there are auditory learners. When a person is narrating a story, first thing happens is a neural coupling. What it means is when a brain sees or hears a story, the neurons fire in the same pattern. Like the way, like when I am narrating a story, the neurons in your brains are able to fire in the same pattern so that you are able to relate to that stories. Okay, if this doesn't happen, maybe we are not effective storytellers. Am I able to capture the attention of people? Okay, neuron coupling is capturing the attention, that when I am saying something, my audiences are hooked on to me. They're able to relate, they're able to understand what I'm saying. They're not lost. Okay, they're not saying a boring hai, I'm not able to relate. Okay, then the second aspect, what happens is mirroring. What is mirroring? I'm sure all of us use mirror every day, right? There you're able to reflect the reality. Okay, the mirror reflects the realities. So whenever what you are saying is able to get reflected in the mind of the listener. Okay, and the third aspect is dopamine. Dopamine is nothing but when you know when a story is being heard, it acts in the aspect of our brain and is able to stimulate that feeling of either pleasure, fear, or motivate. The story has that power to stimulate our brain. Okay, stimulate the brain of the listener. And if we are able to do this, if we are able to one stimulate the brain to reflect the reality, okay, feel and make the audience feel the way you are feeling, narrate that incident. Some people are very, very good storytellers. When they say it, people, you will see people literally shedding tears because they are able to feel with that realities. They are emotionally attached, emotionally hooked to that person, what he is saying. There is nothing happening, he's just speaking. But because the way he or she is able to narrate that story, people are able to just even shed tears. And that is what happens uh, if we are able to narrate the story in a way that can affect the brain and capture the attention of the audience and keep the audience hooked onto what we are saying. Okay, I'll pause for a while here. Anyone has any doubts or anything to ask?
Yes, sir. Piyush have a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. In storytelling, the character will can change from actual to reality, or we can add some person from self.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very good, Piyush. I think again, the purpose is not lost. Okay, you may change the character just to keep the identity, neutral. However, the purpose is not lost. You may have watched several movies. There are movies on, Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, the person representing Shivaji Maharaj is someone different. But when you are watching that video or the movie, you are able to feel, okay, that he is the same person who is representing. Likewise, all of us have watched Ramayan and Mahabharat, okay, for when we were small or even now. The persons who are representing the great personalities here are different, but still we are able to connect. Okay, we are able to connect because the way they are able to represent the reality in a very, very powerful way. Okay. Yes. Anyone else has any other questions? Should we move on?
Uh, yes.
Yeah.
No, sir. There is no question.
Okay. Okay. Now, how to tell a story effectively? I think I've already touched upon these aspects in the previous slides as well. When you are narrating a story, when you're telling a story, it's important for us to grab the attention. Okay, grab the attention by using powerful words or something that is able to capture. So it's important for us to prepare and uh, use the right words when we are able to, when we are narrating a story, and allow the audience to imagine. So that is the skill of a storyteller, where you are taking the audience in the imagination that you are doing, and you are able to set that mood by inflicting or creating the right set of feelings in the audience. They are able to feel with you when you are narrating something, and then you are taking the audience into the story. So the beginning of a story is very important. It can get the audience hooked onto you, or can, make the audience lose. That's why when you see, whenever you watch a movie, the beginning of the movie, the director wants to make it as impactful as possible. Because if the beginning, if you are able to hook on, then the viewer is hooked on till the end. Even in the middle, if the scene is boring, but still we know what is going to come, or the excitement is created till the end. Okay, likewise in a book, when you read it, the way the book starts, just look at maybe two, three different books. The way the book start is very different than the way it has been explained in middle and towards the end. So it's very important for us to grab the attention and allow the audience to reflect, think with you, travel with you, journey with you, to set that right mode, and then you are able to narrate the story as powerfully as possible. Okay. Now we will come to this last part of it. But before that, I think it's storytelling is a skill, is an art. Okay. So it's important for each one of us to inculcate this art, develop this art, because this indicates how effectively we are able to communicate whenever we are communicating something. And it also reflects our confidence. This is, as we are preparing for our interviews, it's very important for us. If I'm able to prepare and tell about myself as powerfully as possible, it reflects my confidence and my ability to relate with the realities. Okay. And overall, it reflects our personality. Okay, who we are. So it it not only helps me to be a great communicator, it builds my confidence. It also helps me relate with multiple aspects, and it reflects my personality. Okay. Having said this, now I think it's important for us to spend some time. If any of you are willing to share something, what I would like you to imagine is, I'm sure you would have heard several stories. Okay, just recall to your mind a story that comes to, that has remained with you till now very powerfully, and you are happy to narrate that story wherever you are, whenever you are talking to someone. Or for example, you can talk about a incident or a object that you see in front of you. You can even create a story out of it. Okay, just try to build a powerful beginning. Okay, and then before you even think of that story, you should have the objectives very clear in your mind. What am I trying to communicate here? What is the purpose of my narrating this story or an incident in this first space? And what is that I want to take the audience? So when I'm building a story around it, I should be able to touch the senses of people, because as I said, we are talking to the minds. Okay, I should be able to grab the attention or the feelings of the person who is listening to me. Clear? So if any of you want to unmute and narrate a story or an incident or explain about an object that is before you, most welcome to do so. Or if you have any questions around it, uh, I'm happy to answer that as well. Any questions, or anyone wants to add anything to what we have reflected so far? All of you are silent. which means either you have understood everything or have not understood anything, right? Okay, so I think let me end with a story which something is very close to me. I'm sure you may have heard it multiple times. This story is about a balloon seller, okay, who is to sell balloons in a beach. These are the helium-filled balloons, okay, which if you let it go, it flies in the sky. So whenever his sale is to go down, what he needs to do is he is to release one colorful balloon in the air. Okay, by looking at the balloon flying in the air, I know naturally the kids who are with their parents is to insist the parents that please let us have that balloon because they simply loved the beauty of the balloon fly. There was one small kid with her dad who insisted to the dad and asked the dad to go near the balloon seller. And she had a very interesting question. And the question was, he asked that the balloon seller, the vendor, if you let this black balloon in the sky, will it also fly? Now understand the situation in which this story is being narrated is in the scene of the blacks versus the whites. So the father who realized what the question the daughter was asking, and he instantly jumped in and said, it is not the color, but what is inside it makes it fly. Okay, it is what is inside us that will make us shine and go high, and not our mere appearance. Okay, so I think that has actually taught a great deal. uh, whenever we are looking at our life and who we are, what is that we want to become in life. Like this, I'm sure you may have several stories that has actually touched your lives. If anyone wants to say something, otherwise I think I'm happy to take some questions. Else we can close wind up. You're on mute, Pranali.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah,
So Piyush want to say that, okay, thank you. I understand completely. The purpose will be fulfilled in storytelling.
absolutely. Yeah. In storytelling, okay, you're referring to Himanshu, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Piyush. I think you have explained it well. Anyone else wants to add anything? Thank you, Priyanshu. I hope you really learned it. Great. Thank you so much for spending this time. As we have reflected, request you to build a story around whatever that you want to communicate, because this will make you a excellent communicator. I think that's the underneath push that we all of us have. As a part of GTT, we work with our participants to make our participants as effective leaders, or as effective persons as you could be, by intervening in your softer aspects of your communication, your personality building, and helping you, because you're most of you are taking the step towards the corporate for the first time. There'll be a lot of challenges that you may face, but we are there with you. The mentors at GTT are extremely trained. They're very professional. They're able to guide you because they have seen, life maybe a little better than what the fresher would have. And because of the number of interactions that we may have had with the youth that we deal with. We train close to 1.5 lakh youth every year as a part of our CSR initiatives that we do. I'm sure we will be able to help you in a way that can really help you to step up in your career. And whenever you have any doubt, please feel free to reach out to us, reach out to any one of us at GTT, and we are always there to help you and to support you in your career.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time and sharing your knowledge and being this in this webinar. We learn a lot from this webinar, I'm sure. And also, if anybody have any question, you want to ask anything, please put it down in the chat box. We are always there to help you out. Okay, and also I have sent the uh, in chat box I have sent the feedback link as well as attendance link. Please feel free to give me the feedback. Okay, your feedback is like most important to us. So please give your valuable feedback to us. Okay, and also fill the attendance link. Okay. And if anybody have any question, do put in the box so we can answer the question. We will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. I think nobody have a question. Okay, so as I said you that we have shared the feedback link and attendance link. So do feel it, okay? And to be very honest, thank you so much guys for attending this webinar. I'm sure that you have learned a lot from this webinar and you are going to apply it. Yeah, so Priyanshu have something. What will be the next topics of session? Okay, Priyanshu, that you will get to know and like I'm going to send you a link for the next webinar, okay, as well as the topic. Yes. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for taking some time out for this webinar. And thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, most welcome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for organizing this. It was a pleasure being there, and wish you all the best, all of you who participated in this. And I'm sure we will stay connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy weekend, guys.